Yo, what is going on, guys? So on today's episode, I have an absolutely hilarious video for you here today. Why men stop dating modern women. Now, guys, if you have not been living under a rock, it is no secret that a lot of guys are completely done with dating. They're done with the chivalry, they're done with the marriage, and so on. And of course, modern women are not too happy about it. So let's jump right into this video. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
I really do genuinely love the fact that as a woman, I'm allowed to work. That's awesome. Love it. However, when we fought for that right, did we take into account being sleepy? Because I don't want.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll dive into the story of a woman whose best friend asked if they could have an open relationship with her husband. You know, women trying to steal their friend's man. We'll also take a look at the 2024 dating scene, where modern women are struggling to find a man. Your support means a lot to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. Now, let's get started.
Let's do some girl time here because I have a serious question. How are my girls dating in 2024? Because I am not newly single. It's been almost a year and it's been great. But here are my dilemmas, okay? I don't feel like I leave the house enough for me to just bump into someone at a bar or a club or anything. Like, we don't do that anymore in our 30s. And then I also am like social, but I have to come home and recharge my battery. And I work so much that I'm not out like all the time.
Okay, so let me just translate all of this nonsense that this woman is saying. She's 30 plus years of age, and now she's looking to settle down, and men don't want to take her seriously. She is done with the clubbing now that she's in her 30s, you know. She's ready to move past that stage in her life, guys. She has gained wisdom, and now she's looking for a good man. But of course, you know, all of the Giga Chad good men don't want to really date a woman who has been clubbing all throughout her 20s. But hey, tell me more.
No guy is going to hit on me at the gym because that's like a no-no, right? And then also, I swore I would never do a dating app. I hate dating apps, but I decided I might have to do a dating app because I don't go out enough to not have a dating app.
Yeah, so this woman, every time a woman says this, by the way, oh, you know, I don't like dating apps, or I quit the dating apps, they always get back on them, and they always do get them. Everybody is meeting everybody on dating applications these days, guys. Like 90% of women are on dating apps. They tell you that they quit, they tell you that they're not interested in them, but that's complete nonsense here. And so she's saying, oh, I don't go out. How do I ever find a man if I don't go out? All I do is work. Guys, let me just say this. If you're a woman in your 30s and you have to explore multiple avenues of finding a man, your good man has already passed you by. You just thought you were too good for him.
So I tried the dating app and it was terrible. Like, I told myself I'd give it 1 month and it was just garbage. So I'm just wondering, like, how are you guys meeting men out here? How are you guys dating out here? How are you finding your husbands out here? Is it through friends? Because my friends are not coming through.
Women today are facing major challenges in dating. First off, dating apps can't meet the demand from women looking for winners, which ends up discouraging them from using these platforms.
Yeah, so let's be straight about this. What are the women doing on the dating applications? You think that they want to date the average guy? I mean, let's be real about this, guys. Ever since a young age, women have been using, you know, their phones and stuff, taking photos of themselves. They've learned to manage their digital image. And dudes get on these dating apps, they snap a couple photos and things like this. And so you have these women who are oftentimes, they get on these apps and their ego is inflated a lot beyond what it should be, right? Because they can get attention from some of the top dudes, but they don't want the guy who has like average photos who looks okay, you know? They want that top percentage of man, even though they might not necessarily qualify for that man. And if I'm honest, a lot of them straight up don't. They really don't. They're shooting for the top like 5% of dudes. And a lot of these women, like they cannot boil water, guys. Like they're looking for that traditional man who's also very attractive, but she's the type of woman who all throughout her 20s refused to cook for a guy. You know, it's ridiculous. Oh, but I want my traditional man. I want my relationship now, she says, as she's in her 30s after she's done all this clubbing and hooking up and nonsense. It's ridiculous for men. It's a complete scam for men. It really is.
Even the well-known app Bumble is on the verge of bankruptcy. The concept of women sending the first message didn't work out, so men have stopped approaching women. Part of the blame lies with feminists who ruined the dating scene for everyone. Women who insulted men for making an approach have made it hard for those who genuinely want relationships to find someone. Then there are the so-called standards. To be honest, not all women have high standards, but most have extremely unrealistic ones. Standards that they wouldn't even meet if they were men. If things are bad now, they'll only get worse after the upcoming elections, with more radical movements like the 4B movement, where women are saying no to heterosexual marriage, no to pregnancy, no to heterosexual relationships, and no to dating men.
Yeah, guys, we've actually heard about this on the channel a few times, and I think it's absolutely hilarious, by the way. I encourage it. All of the women going out there not dating men, you know, not marrying, not having children. I don't think any of the men give a damn. They weren't looking to date you anyway. That's the funny part, guys, is women are like, yeah, we're gonna withdraw the bedroom fund. Everybody knows they're gonna keep hooking up with the men that they find attractive. It changes absolutely nothing, and nobody gives a damn. I find it really funny. I actually encourage women to follow through with this. But if history has taught us anything, guys, they are not going to quit the dating applications. They're not going to quit the clubbing. Why? Because that's where they get all of their self-worth for the most part. How are you going to get validation from men if you're not out there seeking validation, guys? Therein lies the problem, you know? Let's continue.
Not expect for all of you guys to agree with me in my recent video about how hard it is to date. I was actually hoping for some advice, but apparently...
Yeah, my advice is don't. You're going to make some dude completely miserable. You've been with too many dudes at this point, and what's going to happen is your pair bonding ability is absolutely fried. You're never going to be happy with the man that you end up with and who is okay with dating you. It's too late, guys. This is like, women will do this. They'll be with like 500 different dudes, you know, a bunch of different men, and then they'll go out and try and have a successful relationship when they're like 35. Insane.
All of us, apparently all of us are on the same boat, and there's just no men out here to date. And that just like leads me to the question of why. I know I'm picky as hell. Like every one of my friends say how picky I am and how it's just like, it's going to get me nowhere, and I get it. But I also know what I bring to the table. So I'm just like, you got to be picky because I don't want to settle. And it's been this long. Why would I settle?
Oh, I remember this woman now. I think she was on a recent episode. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. So this is the woman who says there's no men today, but also she's too picky. Yeah, okay. So what this really translates to is the top tier men there's not enough of these guys, and they don't want to have relationships with you. I mean, this is the translation of every single woman who makes videos like this. But I do find it funny how she's supposedly out here looking for advice. They're really not looking for advice, guys. They just want to hear, oh, don't worry, it'll work out fine. You'll eventually lock down that guy and everything's going to be fine. You know, they want to hear, don't worry, your Prince Charming is just around the corner. But the truth of the matter is they've encountered their Prince Charming and completely ignored him many times.
But what is it about these men out here that's causing all of us in the comment section to realize that we're all single? Doesn't that seem a little strange to everybody that there was so many people that were commenting that they were just single too, and they have been for many years, and it shouldn't be this hard, right? Like, where are the good men?
It really is not that hard for women, guys. That's why I always find it to be a massive red flag. Anytime you have a woman jumping on TikTok or any form of social media, or even just in general, complaining about the fact that dating is hard, it really isn't, guys. That's like throwing someone onto a video game, max leveling their character, and telling them to go and defeat a level 1, and they struggle to hit their buttons. You know what I'm saying? It's like the issue isn't the game. The issue is you. You know, you can't find a dude. It's not as if this woman is like disfigured or something. She's not a burn victim, or, you know, she hasn't gone through some sort of really awful thing. You know, and she's struggling to find a guy. It's not that damn hard. You can be a woman who's completely psychotic and you can still find a boyfriend. But the problem that they're having, guys, is again, just the top percentage of guys don't want anything to do with them. And so what happens is when they eventually quote unquote settle for the average guy who will look after them, she'll go out there and find some simp who will look after her. The problem is she's always going to think that she's better than that particular guy because she's just been hooking up with the attractive guy all throughout her life.
Also, the people in the comment section, men, that are giving us advice on why we're single because, and then it like leads into something really rude and just like judgmental.
Yeah, so something based in reality. See, the women want advice, guys, but they don't want to be criticized or feel criticized in any capacity. And therein lies your problem. The problem is, if you come along and you give a woman genuine advice, she's just going to take it as criticism. Oh, you don't like women, or you this or that. It's like, no, it has nothing to do with liking or disliking women. You said you wanted a solution, but you want your solution to be nice and pleasant, even if the solution might not actually be that way. Oh, it's just so rude, It's so upsetting and it's rude. Yeah, but it's the truth. Do you want the truth or not? And most of them, they don't want the truth. They just want to hear the pretty little lie that they'll be fine and they'll find their Prince Charming in a couple of years and everything will be fine. You don't have to change. Just go out there and, I don't know, do some breathing work, collect some stupid crystals or something, and you'll be fine. But that's not the way it is.
You're the people we don't want to date.
Truth hurts, and most men who respond without telling her what she wants to hear are the ones that sting the most. Here's the thing. I'll tell you what your problem is. You're too demanding. You're likely the typical modern woman looking for the 666 of the apocalypse, 6 feet tall, a 6-figure income, and a 6-pack abs. The 666 from hell, brothers. The problem is, it's easier for you to miss the boat than to find a man like that because they're a minority. Even the Chads out there aren't enough to go around, and even they are overwhelmed these days. So, why not switch up the strategy? Why not take the first step, approach a man, invite him out? Aren't you supposed to be strong and empowered? I bet this approach would work better for you than waiting for a man to fall from the sky.
And you know what? They do this, by the way. They go out there and they make their move on some highly attractive guy, and then the man doesn't want them, and then they go out there and they just resume complaining again. I think, guys, by the time a lot of these women, if you have like a 35-year-old woman, for example, who's trying to approach you, my question is always like, what in the hell would she be wanting? Because most girls who are normal, or who actually have a level head on their shoulders, they don't need to go out there and do that crap, especially when they're in their 30s. Dudes will just approach them and they'll just choose a guy. Like, let's be honest, guys, women have a stupid amount of options ever since they are 18. Like, it's really not that damn difficult. If you have to have a woman who's out here at like 35 years of age trying to approach men, what the hell are you doing? Dudes don't want to date that. Let's continue into the next clip here.
Am I the asshole for rejecting my friend's request to have an open relationship with my husband? I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 32 male, for 5 years. We have 2 beautiful kids, 5 male. What's that math? I'm like, how long have they been married? I'm like, wait, how old are these kids? Okay, I got it now. We have 2 beautiful kids, 5 male and 6 female, and have a very strong relationship and are happy together. Recently, my friend, Lisa, 29 female, confided in me that she has developed feelings for my husband. She said,
juicy.
She said that she finds him attractive and admires our relationship, and she asked if we would consider having an open relationship so she could be with him too. I was shocked and told her no, explaining that my husband and I are committed to each other and that we are not interested in an open relationship.
I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like the wife is she's just being insecure and controlling, Like, if she's supposed to be a good friend, like, why wouldn't she listen? I think she's just being manipulative. All right, I'm done. Yeah, this is stupid. This whole situation is completely stupid. As far as I understand it, a lot of women will just straight up try and steal the guy. But this is a brave move. We'll see if it pays off.
Lisa got upset and accused me of being selfish
Wait, what?
and close-minded.
Wait, what? What the fuck is going on? Are we taking crazy pills right now?
She argued that modern relationships should be flexible, that I was denying her happiness. Since then, Lisa has been distant and has been spreading rumors in our friend group, suggesting that I am overly possessive and controlling. This has caused a lot of tension, and so
This is the absolute classic, isn't it, by the way? You know, you say no to a crazy woman like this, and then what happens? We go straight to the reputation sabotaging. Oh, I love how she comes out now and she calls the other woman controlling and possessive and all of these sorts of things. Like, she goes straight to the reputation sabotage of the wife. That is it's so insane to me, guys. It's like never any direct conversation or anything like this. It's just straight to, let me just go talk to like their family members and their friends and accuse them of being an awful person. It's hilarious. It really is.
some of our mutual friends are now taking sides. My husband is supportive of my decision, but I feel guilty for the drama it has caused. So, am I the asshole for rejecting my friend's request to have an open relationship with my husband?
How selfish this woman is. That man was about to live the dream of his life. Jokes aside, see what I was saying? That solidarity between women doesn't exist. I've always said it. Women don't have friends. They have competition. For married women with single friends in their 30s, let me tell you, be careful because they're your first enemies. This woman's friend sees that her time is running out. In other words, she's hit the wall. And as we all know, the wall doesn't forgive. She looks at her friend's husband, a hard-working man with 2 healthy kids, giving his wife the good life. Of course, that fills her with envy. Women want their friends to do well, but not better than they are.
Yeah, here's the thing. The original woman, you know, she's like the woman who was second from today's video. You know, she screwed around, she did all the clubbing probably. She's completely wasted her time. And you know, now's the time, and she's like, well, I have to find a man, right? I have to lock this down. I have to find somebody, even if that means hunting the friend's husband. Absolute classic. Let's keep going.
We do have an update. After reading some of your comments, I decided to bring the group out for coffee and told them all about what Lisa said and the real story. I also showed them the Reddit post. After showing them, there were 2 girls that were still on Lisa's side. So I took some advice from the comments and said, quote, let Lisa fuck your husband, then you can be on her side. After that, everyone was on my side, thankfully.
Also,
See, this whole thing is stupid. I don't know why you're trying to convince these people. You know, you say your piece, you go out there, you say what needs to be said. Like, why are you trying to hold together a friend group who is like this, to be honest with you? You know, you're trying to maintain a friendship with this Lisa woman. You're trying to convince your friends that it's like, why would you even be friends with people like this in the first place? I don't understand it.
don't be friends with those girls anymore.
No, still.
Let's not.
You have the post, you have what Lisa said, and you're still going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Lisa should be able to fuck your husband.
Yeah.
That's fine. Lisa wasn't happy at all, and she started ranting about how it, quote, wasn't fair. She, quote, just wanted to experiment something new, and it wasn't even that bad of a request. You're making it such a big deal, which I didn't get. Me and the rest of the group have officially cut contact with Lisa, just hoping she doesn't try to reach out. We'll update if something happens. Also, just clarifying that Lisa also asked my husband for an open marriage. He also rejected it, saying that, quote, even if I was, I would never want to go out with you.
Ooh. That is that is a rough one, isn't it? But this guy straight up rejected her as well directly, saying, listen, I'm not even interested. This is the crazy part, man, is like women can have dudes like this. It's not like they get to 35 and magically they haven't come across some hardworking option. It's just that eventually they realize that the time is running out and they're like, oh crap, You know, if I don't have kids immediately, then I'm going to have some issues here because I might not ever be able to have them. It's kind of like handing in homework super late, you know, but except the decade, you know, you have a decade to hand in this particular homework. Absolutely hilarious stuff. But let's continue into this next clip here. I don't know what the hell this one's about. We'll take a listen.
Her friends' husbands anymore.
I genuinely don't give a flying fuck what anyone else has to say. I will fight for my relationship until my dying breath. I will fight until there's no fucking fight left to give. And it doesn't mean I'm weak, and it doesn't mean that I've lost respect for myself. It shows that I give a lot of fucks, alright? I care about that person. It shows that I have emotion and courage, and I will fight for something if I believe in fighting for it. Too many people nowadays just give up, and I am not giving up. If people think that it makes you look weak, I would rather be perceived weak, knowing that I tried everything I could in my power to save the relationship instead of thinking, what if? If you're in your 20s and you're in a relationship, you do have to remember, we are still so young. We're still so young. We're still kids, basically. We're still learning how to communicate properly. We're still learning how to actually love someone properly. And
I don't even understand this. You know, oh, like I'm 25 or whatever. I'm still learning that. It's like, no, you are well and truly into your adulthood, man. You know, people love, like, I could probably get behind what this woman is saying, trying to make things work or whatever. But, you know, trying to pull this, well, I'm still a kid and I'm in my 20s. It's like, no, technically speaking, you were legally an adult quite some time ago. Whenever I see clips like this, it just makes me think that people are trying to, you know, avoid accountability. Can you imagine if some dude made a video like this and he's like, yeah, guys, you know, I screwed up on the construction site today. You know, he's like a worker or something. I screwed up on the construction site today. Pretty big problem. But, you know, I'm in my 20s. I'm still essentially a kid. So it's like people are going to look at that guy and be like, what the hell do you mean, bro? You're in your 20s and you're making, I don't know, basic mistakes, I guess. And now you're here trying to blame it on your age. Like, come on now.
in the right way and healthy way, I would rather go through hell and back. I would rather go through the worst patches of rough that you could ever think of with one person than I would starting with someone new. That is the problem with this generation. We give up so easily. Why? Why? We shouldn't. If you love someone, why aren't you fighting for him? It doesn't make you look bad. If you feel strong enough for fighting for someone, do it. Fucking do it, because they...
You know, I agree with this woman, but I'm just gonna have to skip the clip because it's too annoying for me, man. Too much yelling at the camera. Too much screaming going on here. But you know, I can get behind what she's saying. Okay, put in the effort. As long as the guy's not cheating on you or something like this, and I can understand that. And most people don't want to put in that effort, particularly modern women, because they have so many damn options on dating applications. They just think that they can replace the guy with the next one. Let's continue on to the next clip here.
To think about how a woman spends a man's $300 to $400 in child support every month on things like clothes for her kids, shoes for her kids, a winter coat, a haircut, birthday parties, camp, activities, the dentist and the doctor and medicine, rent, utilities, gasoline for the car.
Oh, shut up. Guys, 2 seconds into these clips and it's like, wow, I wonder why you're single. You know, I don't know how the husbands put up with this, guys. Like, I've listened to this woman on TikTok video for, I don't know what this is, like 15 seconds. Feels like a decade that I've just listened to this individual speak. I don't know how the ex-husbands ever managed to deal with this.
Car, and then she takes the huge surplus that's left over and she goes to the mall and she gets herself a bunch of outfits. She gets her hair done, her makeup done, her nails done, and it's all on the man's dime.
I love how so many women love to make videos like this and try to make these men look terrible for wondering where their child support money goes to, but what they really do is out themselves for the types of men that they marry and that they put themselves around, because why is it that you're so worried about child support? Why is it that you're not financially stable enough to be able to fund these children's lives with or without child support? In my opinion, the children should automatically go to whichever parent is more financially stable. But not only that, is y'all don't even think about the people that have 50-50. So 1 week they're at mom's, 1 week they're at dad's. Both houses are paying for food, groceries, medicine, and all of the things that you listed. But then you also listed rent and utilities. With or without children, you'd be paying rent and utilities. So it's not his responsibility to fund your lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put, I agree with most of what this woman is saying here, particularly about the kids going to the household that can actually look after them. Let's be honest, I really don't think a lot of the child support payments that dudes are making are actually going towards the kids. Oftentimes they're going towards the mother and the things that she's buying for herself. And just by the way, why the hell is the dude required to pay money to the woman anyway? The kids should be with the person who has the financial means to actually look after the kids. If it's not the woman, then the kids shouldn't be going there. Also, DNA tests should be absolutely mandatory while we're at it as well, because a lot of guys are paying child support for kids that are not theirs on top of this, okay? It's just absolutely insane to me. I think that the judges should just put the kids with the people who can actually look after them. As far as I'm concerned, you know, the rent of the woman's is not the dude's responsibility. Typically, the women are the ones who are leaving, by the way. 70 to 90% of divorces, again, initiated by women. I'm just going off of marriage here for an example. So, like, why is it the dude's responsibility to continue to look after you? Is it your responsibility to continue to cook for him? To continue to do any other responsibilities that you might have been doing? I mean, let's be honest, a lot of these women are not doing those responsibilities. But why in the hell am I paying for some woman's rent that I am no longer with? It's so stupid. And let's be real about it. A lot of them are putting that money towards rent and spending it on themselves. Oh, but the rent applies to the kid too. Get the hell out of here. I'm not here to pay your rent. Okay? If it was about the rent, the kid should just be living with the father.
Children, you'd be paying rent and utilities, so it's not his responsibility to fund your lifestyle. But what really stands out to me is y'all always want to come at the men, but you never want to acknowledge that there's actually women out here that refuse to get a job, that want the ex-husband or the ex or the baby daddy to pay their way. They make a minimum wage job, if that, while their parents fund their lifestyle, while getting on the internet and bitching about how their baby daddy is a deadbeat.
And there it is. I'll agree with that. A lot of them don't want to work. They're trying to live off of the money that the man is forced to give them, or else he faces legal repercussions for not giving it in the first place. Do you think that these women who are receiving money from men are just scrambling to go out there and get jobs? A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are sitting there, they're doing nothing, and they're trying to live their life not having to work because they're trying to get men to, to go out there and continue paying for them.
Even though she's getting $500, $800 a month from him, which actually covers her rent because she's renting from her parents and doesn't have an actual mortgage, or she doesn't have a car and she doesn't have all of these things, or she's even posting content online and then hiding those funds when it comes to mediation. But y'all never want to talk about those types of women. You want to just drag the men, and then when these men ask for proof as to where the child support is going, y'all don't want to, because y'all know damn well that it's not going to the kids all of the time. Okay, bye.
Brothers, in these times, women see their children as a business. It's well known that men have been stepping away from marriage, leaving women without a beta provider to finance their long-term lives, the wonderful guaranteed retirement. So now they go after men with money to have children with them, knowing that this will get them good child support that finances part of their lifestyle. Athletes and artists have seen how they've fallen into this trap. Women who do anything for their seed, even steal it. Just ask Drake. It would be better for the child to go with the father who could provide the best life. But women don't like that because it would take away their business. And there are many women who have children by different fathers to finance their lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, how many clips have we seen where women actually go out there and do this? They get with a bunch of different dudes to have multiple different children to different dudes so that they can receive multiple child support payments, essentially. And it's like, the fact that this is even allowed in the first place is completely ridiculous, because it's just going to encourage these women to do this in the first place. You know, I've said this on the channel before, but to put off men from things like marriage and actually committing to women and chivalry and so on, it takes a concerted effort to do so. The fact that a lot of guys don't want to marry modern women should really tell you that the situation is quite bad. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, make sure to take care of yourselves, guys. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.